Hi there, my name is Diane Panagakis. I'm the occupational therapist at Joseph Brant Wellness House. As an OT, one of my primary objectives is to support people in their goals of getting their day-to-day activities completed. Through this presentation, I will provide you with some energy conservation strategies that will allow you to do just that. If you are living with COPD, you probably already have thought of a few suggestions on your own. I hope that I can share some ideas that you might not have thought of. Let's get started. I'm going to be speaking about two main areas of our day-to-day lives: cleaning chores and food and kitchen. Okay, we're going to start with cleaning activities, and we're talking about bathing. The first thing I'd like to suggest is that you sit on a chair or a stool while you're washing, shaving, or applying makeup. It may help support your elbows on the sink or the table. Another thing I'd suggest is that you organize frequently used equipment, such as towels or shaving kits, and make them easily accessible in your bathroom. Another suggestion, I'm a big fan of grab bars. I want you to ensure that you're using grab bars safely. They're attached to the wall or they're attached to your bathtub. Non-skid mats also improve safety. I wouldn't suggest relying on towel racks. They're just not meant to hold our weight. So grab bars are a great addition to your bathroom for safety and to help with your energy conservation. Another thing to consider is to control your breathing. When you're showering, keep that water temperature not too hot. Sometimes with a shower, you can have a lot of mist if the water is really hot, and that can be fatiguing. So just keep the temperature at a comfortable temperature, but not too hot. Another thing that a client of mine has suggested that she uses in the bathroom, she uses a big kind of a fluffy bathrobe as opposed to really vigorously drying herself off. She just gets into her bathrobe after her shower and just kind of rubs her arms and her legs. It decreases how much energy she's using, and she's still getting nice and dry after her shower. The next topic is laundry and ironing. First thing I can suggest is that you carry your dirty laundry in a bundle buggy. It's easier to roll with items versus having to hold on to them. If you're like me, I have kind of a laundry basket at the bottom of my stairs, and I just throw our dirty laundry down the stairs versus having to carry them down. The next suggestion I have is to try and raise up your front loader and washer up on blocks to avoid having to bend. Just something build up so you don't have to bend so far down or reach so far in. The next thing I'd like to suggest is when you're doing your laundry, try and schedule it during the week to avoid laundry building up. What you might want to look at is looking at your week. If you've got different activities on different days, you've got a doctor's appointment or you're planning on going somewhere, try not to put laundry on top of that. Schedule it in for a day so you don't have to have too much of a buildup, and then it's really an overwhelming task. The last thing I'd suggest is if you're going to iron, I'm not a big fan of ironing myself. I try and pull things out of the dryer quickly, or I try and look at clothes that don't need ironing. But if you can, sit down to iron. We have ironing boards that are adjustable, so you can sit down to iron and only iron those things that you absolutely have to. Our next topic is vacuuming. When you vacuum, take a breath in through your nose as you pull the vacuum towards you, and breathe out with pursed lips as you push it away. Then as you continue with the activity, move slowly and rhythmically with the vacuum. Don't be rushing through this activity. Also, maintain good posture through this activity, and as needed, take frequent breaks. Another idea is to get someone else to do the vacuuming for you. My grandmother used to have something called a carpet brush, and it was just a small uh, thing that wasn't even it didn't even have electricity. It was just a carpet sweeper, really, that it would just pick up some items from your carpet and not having to lug around a big vacuum with you. Another suggestion is buying a Roomba, which apparently are great around the house and no activity needed from you at all. Now we're going to talk about dusting. Dusting may cause difficulty as the dust itself may be an irritant. Some dusting can be done while sitting. Do not use spray wax as it is also an irritant. Instead, use a cream or paste wax for polishing furniture. Also, to dust high surfaces, use a long-handled duster or cleaning attachment to avoid reaching and climbing. Also, avoid clutter around your home. The less knickknacks you have, the less you have to move, and less dust will be formed. We're now going to talk about making the bed. Break down this activity into small components. It's very, very important. Handle one component at a time. Do not rush this activity. Rushing will only cause shortness of breath. When straightening or changing bed sheets, make one side of the bed at a time. Also, avoid bending, either stoop down or squat or sit in a chair versus bending forward when you're making your bed. Another suggestion, a comforter can allow you to eliminate numerous top sheets and blankets. Try not to get too fussy. A lot of styles right now are comforters and blankets and throws and about a half a dozen pillows on top of your bed, which look nice, but as far as kind of practicality, it's a lot of work to maintain. So keeping it simple with a comforter will make this task a lot easier. Also, casters on the bed will allow you to move your bed easier when you're having to make your bed. The next area that we're going to talk about is food and kitchen chores, specifically food preparation. I'd like to suggest that you plan your menu in advance. Doing this will allow you to be more organized and you'll be able to take care of tasks with less energy. Another suggestion is to use menus that require short preparation time and little effort. Frozen foods, convenience foods, foods that are already made are a big help when you're in the kitchen. I know that a lot of grocery stores here in the Burlington area have a prepared food section. They're really handy and a lot of them are very tasty for you. You want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on salt levels, especially with COPD, and I'm sure that the dietitian will be addressing that in another one of these PowerPoint presentations. But keep an eye on the prepared foods, but they're a real asset when you're tired, having something to go to versus having to prepare a big meal. Also, when you're preparing your food, gather up all your necessities and put them in one spot. This will stop you from having to go back and forth to your pantry, back and forth to your fridge, up and down from your freezer in the basement. Make sure everything's nice and handy as you're starting your activity. When you're preparing your food, if you have a tall chair, sit at the counter or sit down at the table and do your slicing and chopping from there. These strategies will help reduce your energy while you're performing this task. As we're getting ready to serve our meal, collect up all your dishes and silverware needed for that meal and move them on to either a trolley or a wheeled utility cart so you can take them over to your table. Another suggestion might be to consider eating your meals in the kitchen or a breakfast room versus taking everything into another room, being the dining room. Another tip is to avoid using serving dishes. Serve directly from your baking dish. This will decrease the amount of dishes that you have to do when you finish your task. After all our work preparing the meal, we have to do the dreaded dishes. So, first thing I'd suggest is to rest before you start the cleanup. You've just enjoyed your nice meal. You don't have to start cleaning up directly. Once you've had a bit of a rest, you've broken up the task. You can sit on a high stool in your kitchen area to start doing some dishes by hand. I also suggest that you let the dishes dry in the air versus having to get out a tea towel. Just leave them on your counter and let them dry. If you're using a dishwasher, one thing you might consider after your dishwasher cycle is complete, you can reset your table for the next day with the dishes in your dishwasher versus putting them back in the cupboards, because you're going to have to take those dishes out anyway to set the table for the next day. It just eliminates one step. In turn, you're saving energy that way, your own personal energy. I'm now going to talk about shopping, not just grocery shopping, shopping in general. First thing I'd like to suggest is that you shop on the weekdays or in the evening when stores are typically less crowded. If you do have any medication that you take, an inhaler or a puffer, make sure that it's always on hand. Also, if you're going out with portable oxygen, make sure you have enough. You don't want to be out completing a task outside of your home and then have an anxious feeling that your oxygen levels are running low. Another suggestion is to lighten your load. Only carry the absolute essentials in your purse and your pockets. Don't wear a heavy winter coat and lots of layers. Also, if possible, shop with a friend or a neighbor who can help carry parcels around the mall, to the car, or into your home. Another suggestion is to plan menus out to avoid unnecessary trips to the market. I'm a big fan of making a list. When you go to the grocery store, have your list at hand so you don't have to backtrack and go from aisle to aisle, making sure that you haven't missed anything as you go along your way. Knowing your store layout is also really important, as I'm sure you'll all agree. Once you go to a particular store, you learn where things are. This is really helpful in energy conservation, so you can just go through the aisles that you need to go through, and you avoid aisles that you don't need to go through. It'll increase your energy by avoiding going down aisles that aren't necessary for you. Another suggestion is loading bags half full. I know now that we're all bringing our own grocery bags to the store, we tend to load them up to make them very, very full, which makes them very, very heavy. I suggest using more bags at half full, less energy exerted while you're trying to carry them. I've got a few more suggestions in regards to shopping in general. Shop in an enclosed shopping center, not street front stores or strip malls. Going back and forth from one temperature extreme to another, cool air conditioning stores to a hot, humid sidewalk, for example, can be hard on your breathing. Also, plan your route. Start at one end of the mall and work your way to the stores without any backtracking or extra walking. Buy your heavy items last. Whether you're holiday shopping or getting your groceries, it's also a good idea to ask a sales associate to carry your purchases to your car or arrange for home delivery. You may also be eligible for a handicap parking permit. To find out, check out your province's Ministry of Transportation guidelines. You'll have to get a doctor or another healthcare professional to complete the form. it might allow you to get closer to the to the shopping mall, which will decrease the amount of walking that you have to do. Something else that people are using more recently is a curbside pickup option. People are ordering their groceries online, different items online. Canadian Tire, Walmart all have different options where you can just go to the order your items online, and you drive to the store and they bring it right out to your car, or you can get direct delivery to your home. I hope you have found the information about energy conservation and COPD helpful. Please feel free to contact me at 905-632-3737, extension 6005, for any clarification with this presentation. Thank you.